Hey, how you doing? If you want to avoid throwing money down the proverbial toilet when buying stock boards, here are 5 tips to save you money based on my personal experience and mistakes. And I've thrown in a bonus extra, which some of you may think is the best tip of all. Okay, starting with tip number 1. Don't believe the marketing. Surfboard manufacturers need to sell boards to survive. So, of course, they paint the attributes of their boards in the best possible light and use the best possible surfers to highlight how well they perform. But sometimes, in my personal opinion, they're off the mark when it comes to their estimation of who the board is for and the conditions that they're best suited to. Take the Paizel Red Tiger. I bought one and I'm selling it now and buying another one. It says on the Paizel website that it's good for anyone, beginner to advanced, in anything from 2 to 8 foot waves, and that it's a high performance shortboard suited for small to medium sized, slower, weaker waves. Well, yes, it might be good in small to medium sized, slower, weaker waves in Hawaii where it was designed, but for me, I've surfed it in 2 to 6 foot local beach breaks and in Fiji at 2 foot cloud break and at solid 6 foot Wilkie's Pass. And I can tell you that the Red Tiger works best for me in 2 to 4 foot good waves that have got a bit of grunt and curve in the face. And again, in my opinion, this board is not a beginner's board. If you're not an advanced, intermediate, or advanced surfer, then I think that this board is probably not for you. I just don't think beginner or lower intermediate surfers can get the best out of this board with its very specific high performance shortboard characteristics. Now, I'm not singling out Paizel here. I've got a number of Paizel surfboards. It's just the example I've got from personal experience. Other manufacturers do it too. I'm sure some of you have got your own stories to tell. So don't buy a board just based on the marketing. Dig a lot deeper. I should probably say that I'm getting a Red Tiger with a round tail. I think dropping that blocky squash tail is going to help the board perform better in bigger waves while still giving me the maneuverability I want in smaller waves, but with round tail characteristics. Right, here's tip number 2. Don't buy boards just because of pros. What I mean by that is just because Felipe Toledo won the 2023 WSL on a Sharp Eye Inferno FT, or John Florence won the WSL 2024 on a Paizel Red Tiger, that doesn't mean that that's the board that's right for you. The top pros are 10 times better surfers than most of us, and for that matter, so are the team riders who test the boards. What they can do with the surfboard, we more than likely can't. And the boards are fine tuned for the individual surfers, so they aren't stock boards anyway. You might think you have a similar style to your favourite pro surfer, but to be honest, you probably don't. Most of us think we're better surfers than we are and that we know how we surf, but we probably don't unless we actually see videos of ourselves doing it. If you have the opportunity, get a good feel for how you surf by watching videos of yourself. Then, if you have to follow a pro surfer's board choices, at least choose a pro who's got a similar style to your own. Better yet, find a good local surfer. What boards do they use? What waves do they ride them in? What are the fins they choose? What are their physical dimensions in comparison to you? That'll be a better guide than following a pro's choices. I like Pro John Florence's style best. He rides Paizels. I ride Paizels mostly, but it's not because John Florence rides them. I choose Paizels because they offer high performance shortboards with XL dimensions that gives me the volume I want in my shortboards. The only other manufacturer that I know of that does that is JS Industries with its Easy Rider dimensions. And I'm not talking here about high performance twin fins or those other boards that have got volume and are pitched as high performance shortboards. Okay, tip number 3. Don't follow trends. I remember when the Rob Machado Firewire Seaside was trendy. I bought one and I sold it. More recently, the Paizel Precious. I didn't buy one of those. Twin fins, twinsers, fishers, midlings, all these and other boards have their time in the sun, but they aren't necessarily the right board for you and the conditions that you typically surf in. Surfboards are expensive, And it's no fun shelling out $1,000 or more on a board that's trendy, but that you don't like after half a dozen surfs and you want to get rid of. You're going to lose money no matter which way you look at it. Blow off the trends and chase the boards that will suit you, your style of surfing, and the waves you mostly surf. We've probably all made mistakes buying boards. I certainly have, and we learn from that when we do, but we're better off not making the mistakes in the first place. Now for tip number 4. Try a variety of fins. Sometimes it's not the board that's not working right, it's the fins. Try a variety of fins before you flick that board. You could find a set of fins that entirely transforms the board for you, taking it from a piece of junk that you want to see the last of to your favourite ride. I switched from the Machado quads on the seaside to a set of Futures AMK keel twins. They helped, but not enough. I flicked the seaside and kept the AMKs. You could try an expensive but fruitful exercise recommended by Futures founder Vince Longo. Start out with a neutral template, try rake and pivot, then try the various constructions. That way you can find the fins that best suit you, your surfboard, and the waves that you typically surf. I tried a set of pivot fins in my Paizel Red Tiger and didn't like them. Recently though, it was suggested I give them a go in my Paizel Ghost on a big day when I would typically use my John Florence signature mediums. Apparently the pivots work really well. I'm going to give it a shot. Right, tip number 5, and a very important one. Do lots of research before you buy. Understand all the elements of surfboard design. Read and watch reviews. Talk to friends who have the boards. Talk to surf shop owners. If you can get your hands on one and try it before you buy, even better. Maybe you can borrow it from a friend or rent it. The more you learn before you buy, the less likely you are to waste precious dollars on boards you don't want or don't like. Your weight and your surfing level are key factors in determining what board to buy. Take into account the waves that you surf regularly, and if you're an old fellow like me, volume is important too. Once you've done all of your research, look at all of the manufacturers and the models they offer and determine which of the models most suit you based on what you've learned. Then make a choice, or that bonus extra that I was talking about at the beginning, consider getting a board shaped for you by a local shaper. If they're good, they'll be able to tailor a board to you and the conditions that you surf regularly. A lot of guys swear by this for good reason. So that's it. 5 of my top tips to help save you money when buying stock boards, or that bonus extra, try a local shaper. If you've got any tips you want to add, or if you want to respond to anything I've said here, put your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this useful, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you're an older surfer and you want to know more about my thoughts on volume, you can watch this video here or this one here. Otherwise, I'll see you again soon.